In this video, let us try to understand about generated clock. So the command is create underscore generated underscore clock. So coming to generated clocks, most complex designs require more than one clock for its functioning. When there are multiple clocks in a design, they would need to interact or share a relationship. Asynchronous clocks are clocks signals that don't share a fixed phase relationship. So synchronous clocks will share fixed phase relationship, whereas asynchronous clock won't share it. Having only asynchronous clocks in the design makes it really hard to meet setup and hold requirements when multiple clock domains are interacting. Synchronous clocks share a fixed phase relationship. So remember this point. Synchronous clocks will share fixed phase relationship, whereas asynchronous clock won't share. More often than not, synchronous clocks originate from the same source. Today's SoC, that is system on chip, contains heterogeneous devices within the same chip. This could include very high-speed processors as well as low-speed memories all on the same chip. These elements working at different speeds are usually triggered by different clocks. Each portion operating on its own clock would bring in asynchronicity in the design. This may result in several clocks being derived from one master clock. Such clocks are referred to as generated clocks or derived clocks. So simply these generated clocks or derived clocks are something that are derived from the master clock. These clocks can be generated in multiple ways. First one is it is clock divider, which is also called as frequency divider. Next is clock multiplier. It is also called as frequency multiplier. And the third one is clock gating. So this is the syntax: create underscore generated underscore clock. So this is the command, followed by switches -name, clock name, -source, from which source it is coming, and hyphen divided by. And we need to give the value, followed by the source object. Same thing is applicable, and here I am using multiply by. That is, you can go either with frequency divider or else frequency multiplier. So create generated clock, name, clock name, -source, clock source, -multiply by value, or else you can give divided by, followed by source objects. And there is one more way, like you can also do it by means of edges. Create generated clock, name, clock name, source coming from clock source, followed by edges. That is rise, fall, and rise, followed by get pins. So you can see in detail here, this edges should be given like this. So the first value that you are writing here will be the rising edge, second one will be the falling edge, and the third one should be rise. That is, it should be first edge of the next clock period. So you will get clarity on this if you see some of the examples. Make sure you remember this. If it is hyphen edges, it should be rising edge, falling edge, and rising edge. Here the last one should be the first edge of the next clock period. I will show about this in the next slides. Now coming to the syntax according to the design compiler, which is based on Synopsys tool. So this is the usage: create generated clock, -name, some clock name we need to give, followed by -source. It can be like port pin list, that is master source from which clock is generated. And next one is -master clock, that is master clock from which clock is generated. Next one -divided by, we need to give some divided by factor here. So generally frequency divider factor will be like it will be like multiple of 2, like simply which is the power of 2, followed by -multiply, like divide by or else multiply by, we can give some value. Next, duty cycle, we already know, like duty cycle means the time period for which the signal is high divided by total time period. And -invert, this is used to invert the clock specifications. Next one is -pre-invert, this is pre-invert clock specification. Next, edges. In the previous slide, I have shown you how to write for edges. Next, followed by edge shift, that is floating list of edge shift. Next, -add. Suppose if there are multiple clocks, then we need to use this particular switch called as -add. Next is combination, that is clock source latency will derive from combinational parts only. So you need to understand about what is source latency and network latency. Next, comment will give the comment, like you can give any comment for that, followed by the source object. So the source object can be the list of ports, or else it can be the pins. So this is the syntax from design compiler for create generated clock. Now see the syntax according to the Genus tool, which is based on Cadence. So simply go through this slide. Most of the switches and command will be same. So you can see the description of create generated clock. It creates a new clock signal from the clock waveform of a given pin in the design. So by using one master clock, we are generating the clock. So that should be given by using hyphen divided by, multiply by, and or else it can be given by means of hyphen combinational switch. So remember this note. This command must be specified with one of the following options. So these are those options. And hyphen add, I told you, like if there are multiple clocks, then you need to make use of this particular switch called as hyphen add. Please go through this particular text. It allows to specify multiple generated clocks on the same source with multiple clocks must fan into the source pin. If you omit this option and a clock was already defined on a pin or a port, this definition would override the previous one. Suppose if you are giving two different clock signals, and if you are forgotten to add this particular switch, then simply it will override the first one that you have given. Next, hyphen apply inverted. This should be given to the port, pin, or hierarchical pin. It specifies the pin or port on which to apply the inverted clock waveform. So this is non-Synopsys Design Constraint option. Next, coming to hyphen combinational, it restricts the path search for latency to only paths which do not cross sequential devices or the source pins of other generated clocks. Genus ignores this option for optimization and reporting purpose. Physical flow will honor it as part of Innova's initial placement. The write _ SDC command will write the option out for the consumption of downstream tools. Next, coming to hyphen comment. Comment means by using this you can give the comment. So if you want to divide the time period, you have to give this one. Next switch is hyphen divided by. Determine the frequency of the new clock by dividing the frequency of the source clock by this factor. So simply it will divide the clock with respect to the factor that you are giving here. If the frequency is divided by a certain factor, the clock period is multiplied by that same factor. Next, coming to hyphen domain, this specifies the clock domain to which the generated clock belongs to. Next, by using hyphen duty cycle, you will be giving the duty cycle. And hyphen edges specifies how much each edge specified with the hyphen edges option should be shifted. And next, coming to hyphen edges, this should be given as rise, fall, followed by rise. And hyphen invert. If you want to invert the resulting waveform, you need to use this particular switch. And this is the master clock. It derives the generated clock from the specified clock by using this particular switch. Next, similarly, like multiply by, followed by hyphen name is used to give the name, and hyphen source from where it is coming from. Now let us see the syntax according to the prime time tool. Please go through this particular slide. Just for your understanding, I included syntax from all the tools. So here prime time is based on Synopsys, and this is the syntax according to the Tempest tool, which is from Cadence. Most of the switches will be same. Now let us try to understand what is divided by 2 waveform. So you can see here I have taken one waveform where here time period is 10 nanosecond. Now divided by 2 waveform means like I am dividing frequency by 2. As we know that frequency and time period are inversely proportional. So whenever you are dividing frequency by 2, time period will get multiplied. So you can see here, if I am taking a time period of 10 nanosecond and if I am doing divided by 2, then obviously time period will get doubled. So that's why you can see here time period is getting increased by twice. So initially time period is 10 and here I am getting time period of 20 nanosecond, which is simply the multiple of 2. Now let us see what is divided by 4 waveform. So if you are dividing frequency by 4, time period will get multiplied 4 times. Again I am taking the same example where the time period is 10 nanosecond. Now as I am doing divide by 4, so simply time period will be 4 times. So 4 into 10 will be 40 nanosecond. So here see the waveform that we are getting as the output will be having a time period of 40 nanosecond. Means simply it is divided by 4. Now let us see what is multiply by 2 waveform. You can see here if you are multiplying the frequency, time period will get divided. So initially the waveform that I am taking is having a time period of 20 nanosecond. Now here time period is getting divided by 2. So 20 divided by 2 will give 10. So the output waveform that we are getting will have a time period of 10 nanosecond. So first be clear with what is divided by 2, divided by 4, multiply by 2 and multiply by 4. So depending upon this you can understand the next concepts.